Yeah, I'm just like, I'm looking for something a little bit different as well. And this, what I saw of it before, looks different enough, right? And this is why I'm having so much fun with Limbus Company at the minute. And obviously Arkanoids, because they're different. They're different. Well, not so much in Limbus. The combat is definitely different, but, you know, turn-based. I like turn-based games. But Arkanoids was totally different for me, because I just don't play tower defense games. You know what I mean? I don't play tower defense games. So playing Arkanoids was kind of an eye-opener for me. I should be a little bit more open-minded, because I am quite open-minded with games, but there's definitely genres that I tend to scoff at, and tower defense definitely was one of those. And auto chess sort of games have, you know, TFT type games have been one of those games that I've kind of scoffed at as well. But after playing Limbus Company and playing Arkanoids, specifically Arkanoids in that regard, it's made me realise I really should just try games sometimes, even if the genre really doesn't appeal to me, because you might find that gem. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, bro, it's Hoyo. You ain't finding no fucking gems in Hoyo. But I honestly don't feel that way when it comes to Hoyo. Every time I make a video about a Hoyo game, I get the comments of, you got bad taste, blah, 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 fucking blah. Because, you know, you have to shit on Hoyo, right? And if you shit on Hoyo, fair enough. I just don't have that negative connotation towards Hoyo. So let's have a look at this. There is a test coming up, which you can sign up to now on the website, guys, okay? So if you want to check this out, I think that's like the 9th of next month it starts. Don't quote me on the date of when it starts. I don't know if it says in the description, actually. The evolution test is coming up. Yeah, wait, hold up. Let's see. The evolution teaser. This is what I want to see more of, because I'm hoping, what I heard from M-Tashed when I was listening in the car, I do think we have some gameplay here. So let's have a look. Conform, streamer. Comply. Okay, they're showing off. Okay, they're showing off progress. Okay, a lot of progress there. A lot of progress there, right? Especially in the shading and stuff. You know, going back to the building over here. The right looks far better, right? Definitely looks like we've had a jump here. Okay. Character design-wise, off the bat, not my sort of thing, gotta admit. Looks a lot better, though, don't they? They do look a lot better. Oh, emotional. Okay, I missed that second. Okay, these are pretty drastic changes, aren't they? Okay, love to see the improvements. That's what we like to see. Okay, much better. Okay. Big visual improvements. Wow, that's obviously, and I shouldn't be like, whoa, too much, but there is a big change there. But obviously, these are early showcases, but, you know, drastic change here. Like, this is a huge change here, specifically. Look at that, that's massive. So, I think it's what? It's Pokemon with Hoyo characters, because Blade's in this, right? With auto chess gameplay, right? It's kind of cool that you can ride them around too. So I wonder if this is going to be because like that's one thing MTash said, like he hopes that it's not going to be heavily narrative based. I would imagine it probably is. It's Hoyo though, right? Okay, that's kind of cool though. I wonder if then, do you reckon this is probably going to have like a lot of slice of life stuff in it as well? It kind of just looks like NTE. When you see the gameplay, you won't think that. Like the hub, maybe. I guess, I suppose. But this is just a hub area for all of that sort of stuff. The gameplay is just entirely different, like, you know what I mean? I want to see some gameplay. Okay. Alright, I guess. was going to say something then. I'm not going to say something. I'm not going to bring down the decorum of this particular part of the stream. I was going to say something. I'm not going to say something. Did that just spit on us? Did that just spit on us? I think it did, yeah. Okay, so it looks like there's a lot of, like, slice of life stuff in the game, which I'm not overly interested in. Okay, here we go. We got some gameplay here, right? So, do characters come with their own monsters or something? Is that how things are going to work regarding the gacha in this game? I'm curious to see what the gacha's going to look like in this game. So you've got, like, obviously a cast of these monsters. Do these come with a character? Or what? Or do the characters just act as buffs, like? Because it looks like the characters are like a card, a deck of cards, a hand of cards, right? I wonder if they're like, there's like trainer buffs or something. You deadass don't think this is a gacha game? Nah, I think this is going to be a gacha game, I do. Maybe not, but I feel like it will be. Gacha-fine auto chess. See, characters have, characters have got a cooldown, and they're obviously doing something. So there's like trainer buffs, passives, whatever they're going to be doing, right? So I think that's where the gacha comes in, right? You're going to have characters that you pull for that potentially have synergy with certain types of monsters and stuff, i.e. they're trainers, you know? Maybe there is gacha for the creatures as well, or you just go collect them, and the characters themselves are where the gacha is. That's what I'm going to assume off the bat, right? That's where I think they'd potentially monetize it, but you might be right. You might be right. It might not be a gacha game. It looks like a gacha game, though. It is Hoyo as well. See, look, we've got Blade, man. You know what I mean? Okay, Blade just beat the shit out of those poor little creatures. Yeah, the characters have got to be gacha, right? The characters have got to be gacha. They have to be, right? Okay. So, yeah, so, interesting. I wish that it showed a little bit more gameplay. Rather than, like, you know? This little thing shoulder pressing. Bro, he's shoulder pressing 5 plates on. Bro, shoulder pressing 5 plates, you know. That's it's pretty impressive. But yeah, like, obviously the world looks nice. It's there, right? I'm liking drastic improvements on visual fidelity and stuff. Definitely looks like with stuff like this, we're going to be seeing slice of life stuff. But I will say, look, we got the typical gacha UI here. Look, we've got like, this looks like your creatures up the top right. This looks like potentially your characters. You've got a backpack. You've got these things here. Any one of these could be banners, right? We've got a map up here with a bunch of stuff for the map on the UI as well. Obviously, it looks like we've got sprint and we can fetch out our creatures and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm intrigued, right? I'm intrigued. I've been asking for a while in terms of like the high fidelity games for something different. This is definitely something different. It's definitely something different. Whether it's going to be good is going to be a different conversation, right? Again, these sort of games are not really my sort of game. Just like tower defense games aren't either. But Arknights, I love it. So, who knows? Maybe this is something that I can enjoy, right? I don't know. I'm curious to see, though. I'm kind of excited to see if it is something I like. So we've got the Evolution teaser. Yeah. So I'm assuming this is just going to be for the test, right? Like, all the language is very Pokemon, though, isn't it? Evolution teaser, the Evolution test. It's all very Pokemon coded, isn't it?
With the championship qualifiers right around the corner, the renovations around Ia are in full swing.
Yeah, okay. I kind of like the vibe, though, man. The place does look nice. It looks like a nice place to hang out.
barely recognize my own neighborhood.
Whoa! Look at you, closest giant monster!
So I bet there's, like, Impact 3rd characters I should recognise as well that I just don't. I bet there might even be Star Rail characters that I don't recognise. Like, I recognise Blade, but that's it. Was that the train from Star Rail? Actually, some of these characters look alright. Okay, I'm assuming we've got narrative then. That's an Impact 3rd character, right? I think.
Nexus battle!
This is Nexus Battle. See what I mean? See, like, with her there. Obviously, we've got a character, right? And that looks like that might be a signature monster for the character, right? Like, hear me out. The monsters. You collect monsters, right, for your MC. But then you pull characters that have signature monsters, potentially. That it's not, like, they could only use it, but maybe? Because, like, surely that monster's her monster, right?
Let's show 'em!
I could be just... But, like, it looks like that monster's coded to her, doesn't he? At least it seems so. Yeah, this it's definitely character gacha, right? It's definitely character gacha.
And I shall
Let's
answer
go.
with power to match you.
I wonder how they're gonna like introduce characters. Like they could have lots of like miHoYo crossover potential here, right? Like just pulling characters from all their IP. You know what? There we go. June 22nd. June 22nd. Wait, this is just Pokemon. Kinda. Kinda. It kinda is. In a auto chess guise, right? Which, at the end of the day, I'm kind of okay with, because, you know, fuck Nintendo, fuck the Pokemon company, really, for the most part. I'm always up for other companies, like, taking the idea of Pokemon and putting twists on it, you know, like how Power World did. I'm down for more companies to do that. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to know what you guys think, man. What do you think? Are you interested? I think it looks cool, man. I think once again for me, it's miHoYoverse are kind of like trying something different with the games, and I kind of like that. I know there's going to be obviously people are going to be like, it's miHoYo slop, it's going to be miHoYo coded, which whatever, fair, right, fair. Like, you know, people might worry that it might be ran the similar way to things that had problems with before, right? But in terms of the game, what do you think? I think it looks kind of alright, man. I'm interested to check out an auto chess battler, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I've never really played them before, so I'm interested to give it a go. You know, Blade just doing side quests. I can't take it seriously because it's literally just Pokemon miHoYo, which makes it more money grabbing slop. I don't think this is supposed to be taken seriously, though, is it? This, if I'm honest. Power was different because he wasn't trying to grab your money. Well, it was, but I get what you're saying. It's different monetization, right? This feels a lot more like Digimon. Again, I can't imagine auto chess with any gacha element beyond the default per round shot being funny in any way. Maybe. Again, as somebody who doesn't have like I don't have experience with this genre of games, I can't speak as to how negatively gacha could impact the flow of a game like this, for me, personally. Seems me, I don't like that type of game, not gonna lie. That's fair. Seems like miHoYo slip, I don't think I'm gonna bother. Give me every genre of gacha system at this point. Am I gonna try CC? I have tried CC. I haven't played properly, but I have tried it. I've done like 29-30 so far. Looks like the most casual game for children, just like any miHoYo slop, to be honest. Damn, man. People really hate miHoYo, don't they? Not my usual game, but I'll give it a shot. Knowing miHoYo, you will never have to gacha both characters on the Pokemon. Maybe. Are you saying you will? I think I've got a feeling, looking at the way that character had that one creature, I've got a feeling there's going to be like signature monsters for certain characters. And I think characters are just going to have like a battle skill, like how Blade did an attack. It looked like the other character maybe did a buff or a debuff. So I think you're gonna have this deck of 3 characters. You collect the characters, and they give you battle-wide abilities that potentially they have signature creatures as well that might synergize better with, I don't know, with them, or who knows. Like the gameplay style, and I'm sure it'll be high quality, but art style ain't looking like my thing. I must admit, I think character-wise, the monsters look fine, but I think character-wise, I'm not sold on many of the characters that I saw there, and actively a few of them was just like, yeah, that's not my style at all. Maybe the Pokemon would be like the weapon banner, and the characters would be separate from that. Maybe, maybe. People have a lot of reasons to hate miHoYo. Let me ask you guys then, what is the reason that you actually hate miHoYo that other gacha games don't do? I'd love to know that, because like a lot of the time when I hear people that talk about like generosity and stuff, and as somebody who plays gacha games for the enjoyment, generosity is usually a secondary thing for me. Of course, it's always great, but like I hear a lot of people go back to that. I hear a lot of people talk about like power creep, content, the way they do content, skip ones. I think that's a fair one. And I look at a lot of gacha games. I'm like, man, I feel like a lot of the things that people have issues with miHoYo, a lot of other companies in the gacha space actually do themselves, and they never seem to get dragged in the same way. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like you can't have issues with miHoYo. Have at it. I don't give a fuck. I'm just curious, like. The Pokemon are going to be like, well, yeah, I'm thinking something like that. Yeah, Hunter. That's in my head. That's kind of what I picture. I already play Pokemon, so not really interested. Not gonna lie. That's fair. That's fair. Burnt out because, you know, awful power creep gets. I do think, for me, Star Rail started to feel rough, right? Star Rail started... I don't know how it's at the minute, but, again, I stopped playing Genshin after Inazuma. But, I like ZZZ, and I'm hearing at the moment ZZZ is in a really good spot, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to actively hate the company unless they're doing something illegal. I just mark any cons. I'll see you move on. That's fair. That's fair. And look, I ain't saying that you guys have illegitimate issues with the company. I'm not saying that at all. When I see people being overtly critical online, typically about miHoYo, I look and I'm like, well, I've seen Kuro do that. I've seen NetEase do that. I've seen Nexon do that. I've seen innumerable amount of companies do those things, right? That's all it is for me. That's all. I'm just curious. I hate how they do things. Let's hate towards miHoYo themselves. They use the most predatory systems in the business. I think they've popularized a system that's definitely miHoYo, but I don't know if I'd say they're the most predatory, if I'm honest. Like, you know, since and this, I'm not saying they're the first, but like soft pity, hard pity, 50-50s, love them or hate them, have definitely become a thing, right? Pity carryovers to some degree, which a lot of people now are like, if it doesn't have that, it's a trash gacha system. Because I remember that's why Enfield got slated, didn't he? Because it didn't do the miHoYo model, where Wuthering Waves gets like lifted up for that, doesn't he? Games don't feel like games at all. In every aspect of their games, I feel greed for the money and only money. Really? Damn, man. When I first started playing Genshin, again, I started late and I only got to Inazuma, and like I stopped playing because of Star Rail. The only one I've really felt that with is Star Rail for me. But I've never played Impact 3rd. I've not gone deep into Genshin. And granted, I haven't played Zenless Zone Zero since 2.0. But I don't know, maybe I'm just too nice. That's it, guys. I'm too nice. That's what it is. You guys are just terrible people. People have way higher standards, specifically for them, it feels. If you're talking about predatory systems, we always nowhere near as greedy as all the gacha games. Yeah, I think that as well. I think prior to Genshin, I think the average gacha game was a little bit more savage, right? It's like, I think a funny example for me is Umasume, right? Trash gacha system. But like nobody ever speaks about that in Umasume, do they? Which is interesting. miHoYo makes games in every department, casting the net wider and catching piranhas along the way. FGO is worse than everything miHoYo was made, so I might just have gotten the worst of the worst out of the way as my first gacha. Yeah, I think sometimes, again, I wasn't around for older gachas so much, but like I hear the horror stories, right? So I don't know. And like, I'm not here to defend miHoYo. Like I ain't got no skin in the game, right? At the minute, I'm currently not playing any miHoYo games, and even if I was, I don't get connected to the companies, so to speak, like that. So when people shit on them, I'm like, oh no, don't do that. I still like HSR. The issues I have with it are relegated to an area which are optional or not necessary, so I don't mind as much. I think that's unless you get like sort of stat checked in story content as well. I do think a lot of the issues we tend to have with gacha games as well are optional issues. Now, I'm not defending it because it sucks when paracreep is rampant, right? But a lot of the time, it is the end game content or potentially certain events that, like, you know, so like it's sort of a thing that you could choose to like avoid. Now, I'm not defending that. I'm just you know, playing devil's advocate as well. Although obviously I you know, I've been one who's been quite critical of the terror of adversity. Musume gacha system is as old as time since Grand Blue Fantasy, right? A lot of vibes and feels maxing goals into the miHoYo hate, in my opinion. To be fair, in Umi, you can make the most Umas do all the content. It won't be easy, but you can. Oh, same with FGO, right? FGO's got like shit gacha system, hasn't he? But I've heard people say that you can clear the game with like the oldest of old units, right? He's not joking. Clip it and shoot it, boys. Of course, if game hate is proportional to the fan base, then obviously the largest titles will get the most vocalized hate. That's fair. I mean, that's fair, right? Biggest issue with miHoYo games is that I don't feel like they respect my time. I'll play into it, get stuck, and need to grind for errors and stuff that opens up on specific days. I can't attest to that on parts of miHoYo, but I do admit that's one thing I have an issue with Arknights. I don't understand still to this day, Freudian slip, why games have systems like that, right? Where like you can't do certain things on certain days. It's just like, brother, stop, man. Just stop it now. Bad, stop it. I think the reason miHoYo was always on the talking points is maybe because leading company for mainstream gacha. Yeah, I think there is some of that, right? I think there is I definitely can understand the argument if people, and again, I'm not illegitimizing people's statements about Genshin or miHoYo in a whole. I'm not. I do think there is some ground to say miHoYo are the market leader. Of course, there's games each month that'll top the lads and you know miHoYo's the big daddy, right? So when miHoYo move, people follow, right? When miHoYo lead, people copy what miHoYo are doing. Proof in the pudding of the way that their systems are so the norm in the gacha space now. The average being 80 to 90 pulls, 50-50, guarantee on the next banner, pity carryover, weapon banners. You know, it's pretty a standard affair now with a lot of gacha games, right? So I can understand the point that, like, man, they could be the chosen one in a sense that if they did this and made it successful, other people probably would copy them to a degree, wouldn't they? Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.